Hey everyone, welcome back to Gary Talks Truth, wherein Gary talks about things that are true in this world and not right-wing nutcase fantasies, MAGA-Nazi delusions, or disinformation. I have been hammering lately on PragerU for kids, and I'm going to keep doing it. Why? Because I have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. That's why. Because I happen to like children a lot. I think children are funny little people, and I get a big kick out of them. And I hate to see their minds being deliberately manipulated and indoctrinated by this organization. More about that later. Dennis Prager does not deny that they're indoctrinating children. That's the whole purpose of PragerU for kids. But he goes, but it is our indoctrination. So very... very scary reply. But Dennis, as you have heard before, Dennis and his brother Ferris grew up in a very, probably frightening as hell, evangelical church in a little know-nothing town. I mean, not know-nothing, just a little tiny speck of a place out in the middle of Texas. And their father was the pastor of this church that he invented, so they've taken it over. But they also sold their fracking business for billions of dollars, and they donated a chunk of that to get PragerU started, hence the name. These people vet, they take a look at and approve every script, every action, every scene, every storyboard, everything. So they can't say it's not their involvement. Anyway, so since I have signed up for them, I get, the regular sort of emails. We got a new video, this, that, and the other thing. But I also get these idiotic, smirking, weird, as you would expect from the right, the radical right, emails. And now Dennis, speaking of good old Dennis, he has... tired of hearing people say that the Bible is irrelevant or not true or just a collection of stories and all this stuff. He's tired of hearing that. So he wrote his own book called I've got to get this right, The Rational Bible / Genesis, wherein he proves beyond any doubt now that the Genesis story is true. And as he says again, I want to get it right, a moral guide and source of wisdom. Here's the catcher. For only $125, you can have your very own copy. Yeah, you. Isn't that a nice deal? They'll throw in 2 bumper stickers too, so it's not a complete loss. Another email I got just a couple days ago was especially... gratuitous, mocking, attitude-driven, sort of own the libs tone to it. And it called Media Matters. I'm sure you've probably heard of Media Matters if you're listening to me. It calls Media Matters a leftist outlook. Now, why do you suppose they call them that? The MAGA-Nazi far right refers to anyone who questions what they say, the accuracy or the veracity of what they say, as leftist, terrorist, Antifa, anything you want, if they insist on the truth, then they must be bad people. So that's their point of view. But anyway, Media Matters looked at every single one of their videos, and that's what this mocking email was all about. Oh, look, they watch us though, don't they watch us? So at the end of it, a smirking and vastly superior human being known as, want to get this right, Jill Simonian, breaks it all down for you in this all aren't liberal, stupid, sort of divisive bullshit way that people have of talking from that side of the aisle. Now, Dennis Prager, as I said before, makes no bones about indoctrination. He says right up front, I'm indoctrinating. What's wrong with our indoctrination? This was on an NPR interview not too long ago. And the headline is, Florida teachers are now able to use videos in class produced by the conservative online media company, PragerU. It doesn't ever call it a university, school, or anything. Conservative online media company. Its founder admits indoctrination is its goal. I'm not making that up. You can look it up. He said it, and I'll get to the quote. So the host, Mary Louise Kelly, is interviewing Carrie Sheridan. And Ms. Sheridan speaks and says, the PragerU is not an accredited university. It presents itself as educational, but is primarily an online media organization. PragerU Kids produces these catchy, short videos. During the introduction to the video that she played for everybody, somebody comes out and says, from the from the media company, PragerU Kids is dedicated to teaching what most schools aren't, our American values, history, and blessings. Ms. Sheridan goes on to say in another video, slavery is portrayed as just something normal for its time. It even shows a recreation of Frederick Douglass, who, as we all know, escaped slavery and became an abolitionist. Again, soundbite from the film. There was no real movement anywhere in the world to abolish slavery before the American founding. Slavery was part of life all over the world. It was America that began the conversation to end it. Fact check. The video ignores that Denmark, Britain, and France had already outlawed the trading of slaves, while slavery continued full pace here. And according to Vice News, two of the main funders, the people I was talking about, Dan and Ferris Wilks, they have a series of these videos denying climate change. And when a young female character in one of their videos questions why things are happening and expresses a belief in climate change and how to handle it, the wise adult in the video says that she is being, quote, lied to, end quote, that these renewable sources are, quote, no solution to our problem, and on and on and on. And they're just trying to get their point across that buy more gas, that'll make the world a lot better place. So they show a little soundbite of my favorite drag performer, Rhonda Santis, who also masquerades as the governor of Florida. And he says during this interview, in the state of Florida, we're proud to stand for education, not indoctrination, in our schools. And of course, everybody claps. And Ms. Sheridan breaks in and says, that's Governor Ron DeSantis, folks. His Department of Education gave the green light for PragerU Kids in July. The same month, its founder, conservative radio host David Prager, said this, quote, this is from Dennis Prager, quote, we bring doctrines to children. That's a very fair statement. I said, but what is the bad of our indoctrination? If that doesn't scare the living poop out of you, you either have no poop in you or you're fearless. You have to decide that part for yourself. Anyway, now they go after Trustpilot. And if any of you know anything about Trustpilot, they are not political at all. They verify charities and people like that and NGOs before people donate to them. And they ask if there's reviews on certain subjects and stuff, and it just so happens there is about PragerU because they stink and there's a terrible odor coming from them and people are looking into them. So I'm just going to read you a few of these reviews. I didn't write any of these. These are the opinions of those people, but I pretty much share them. So one student writes in and says, "Holy cow, as a college student and a Gen X graduate, what the are they teaching these kids? This is ridiculous propaganda and indoctrination beyond the levels of the norm for any civilized and coherent societies. PragerU is a propaganda group that is trying to indoctrinate children to be hateful, sexist, and racist. Any video that touts slavery, regardless of the time period, should be considered a hate crime." I agree with that. They also place blame on women for what they wear, leading to unwanted attention. The old, well, if you didn't dress like that, it wouldn't happen bullshit, which is what you'd expect, I guess. Ongoing harassment from them and other rights. I've tried to get them to stop bothering me. I've unsubscribed a half a dozen times, but they keep sending me emails. Here's one more. I'll just let it go at that. This site is right-wing propaganda. They're also frequently running tons of political ads on YouTube that are shown to everyone, no matter what, and don't have the stop seeing this ad button. That makes it even worse. The only positive thing I can say about these ads are that they only occasionally appear and be closed by closing and reopening the same video, sort of like what you have to do with Trump's obsessively stark, assault on our consciousness when we're trying to absorb stuff. So this is the thing that's happening, folks. This loud megaphone has been turned on your children, my children, all of America's children, and they're being pumped full of bullshit by people who don't give a damn. They're in it for the money. They're in it to spread power and bullshit. They're in there to improve their own status somehow. They're also in there for what I believe is the most essential thing. And it is this: if you hold oddball beliefs and you can get other people to believe them, then you start to feel like, well, maybe I'm not such an oddball after all. But you are. So these people believe odd, terrible, ugly, nasty things, and they're teaching it to children every day. It's already in state schools in Florida and Oklahoma. Other states are taking a look at it. If this comes to a school district near you, you should speak up. You owe it to your community to speak up and speak out if PragerU comes anywhere near you or your children. I hope they don't. But if they do, know who they are, stand up, and fight them back, because it's not good what they're trying to do. So I'm going to close there. I just want to thank the people I hear from. You can write to me at thepodcast@gvbrights.com. And that's married to my website, www.gvbrights.com, because I not only talk the truth, I write the truth. Well, except that they're all novels, but other than that. So check it out. If you like airplanes, there's lots of airplane pictures there. I wrote a crime thriller about a pilot. A lot of flying, a lot of sex and drugs and rock and roll, since it takes place in the 70s, sort of have to. So let me hear from you. If you want to share your opinion on Gary Talks Truth, all you got to do is drop me an email or go to the website and contact me on the contact page. So please do. I look forward to hearing from you. I respond to everyone. So Take care, everybody, and I will see you next week.